That ganache is so good, and I didn't get it on me. All right, the new year, new me talk might be a little bit too much for all of us. You know what I'm saying?
We might just want to eat as much cheesecake as we want.
Absolutely.
But you can take a first step as part of the fresh slate for the new year. Psychologist Dr. Saunders is helping us do just that with her series on empowerment this month. And today, we are talking about self-worth.
Absolutely. Why is this so important? Hey, Doc, how are you? Let's find out straight from the expert.
Hello, friends. Happy Thursday. And yes, that cheesecake looked amazing. And that is enough to make anyone feel good about themselves.
Yes.
And she's empowering herself, and she's trying to raise money to start her own business.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's the perfect example of empowerment. So it's taking charge of your life. In order to take charge of your life, you have to believe that you have value. You have to believe that you're worthy. And what are some things if you don't feel worthy? Because feeling worthy is a journey. If you don't feel worthy, what are some things that you can do? And so one of the first steps to feeling worthy, so you can take charge of your life, is taking note of negative self-statements. When we have negative scripts in our head, when we're reviewing negative things and saying terrible things about ourselves, and the guideline is, if we wouldn't say it to a friend or family member, we shouldn't be saying it to ourselves.
You know, that's a really good point.
That is so good.
Because I look in the mirror and go, hey, Tubby.
And I would never say that to you.
You would never say that to me. But you
and
should.
you would never
Exactly.
say that to
So that's
me.
a perfect example of a negative self-statement that you would never make to someone else, and therefore you shouldn't be making it to yourself.
That's very good. I love that.
And, you know, self-worth, it's so hard. The beginning of a new year, I think a lot of us go in with the mindset, yeah, we're going to start fresh. And then if you fall off the bandwagon, right, then you start really, you quit. You start getting very negative. How do you get out of that mindset where you were positive and then you went negative?
Yeah, and you know, what we're looking for is not massive change, but incremental change, right? So each day when the sun rises, although it is kind of cloudy today, but each day when the sun rises, we have new opportunities. So just because you engaged in a lot of negative self-statements yesterday doesn't mean that you can't reset today. Another way to reset is do something kind for someone else. Hold the door, look someone in the eye and smile and say, you look great today. So doing small things, giving acts of kindness brings in that altruism that makes us feel better about ourselves. So that's another way to engage in a reset.
Now, you say feeling a little bit vulnerable helps as well. Tell us a little bit about that. So,
and by vulnerable, I mean within the bounds of what you can do. It's a way to challenge yourself, learn something, take up knitting. I'm a big fan of Wordle, right? Engage in something new and exciting, challenge yourself, do something a little different. You don't have to tell a lot of people that you're doing it. Right. These are small ways that you can increase your self-worth by being vulnerable. And by being vulnerable doesn't mean completely exposing yourself. It means challenging yourself in ways that make you grow just a little bit.
And Doc, how do you know that you've gotten to that point, right? Sometimes people are working for that goal and they're, you know, I want to feel that self-worth. How do you know when you've arrived and where do you go from there?
So the self-actualization on the, Maslow's hierarchy, we call it self-actualization. Very few of us actually reach that self-actualization where we're just sort of able to meditate all day and think positive thoughts. So for all the rest of us, besides, people like Gandhi, we're always working on it. We're always, because we slip and we fall emotionally and we get little setbacks and we kind of start up again and we get ourselves out of bed and we say, I'm going to work a little bit today on positive affirmations, or I'm going to do something kind for someone today, or I'm going to challenge myself a little bit today. I'm going to come up with some positive affirmations or gratitude for myself. So there's ways to do things to reset yourself, because we're all a work in progress.
All right. We're going to have to leave it there. We are certainly a work in progress, and this show continues. So next week, we're going to actually work on our work-life balance. Dr. Saunders, clinical psychologist at Hartford Healthcare. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure.